Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about Wicked. The new phenomenon hitting the globe is the #1 movie in the world right now based off a Broadway play. Fantastic. One thing that we've been seeing a lot lately is how insufferable Wicked fans can truly be. A mixture of theater kids and regular moviegoers with regular movie theater etiquette mixed in with theater kid etiquette mashed together to make cancer. I am Oz. Which you're seeing a lot of theater fans come in here now. You know, I mean, if you think about fandoms ruining people's experiences, we can look at a lot of things. A lot of people refer to Rick and Morty in this instance. When it reached its peak popularity in season 3, fans of the show went wild over McDonald's releasing Szechuan sauce. Releasing a Szechuan sauce promotion created based on it being referenced in a line in the show.
In 1998, they had this promotion for the Disney film Mulan, where they created a new sauce for the McNuggets called Szechuan sauce.
Remember that? It was a big thing, Szechuan sauce.
Do you remember that guy who jumped up and said, "I want Szechuan sauce"?
Yeah, that cringe was unbelievable. It was at this time that the infamous Szechuan sauce freakout blew up on YouTube, shedding light on how just repulsive a portion of that audience could be. I feel like it was probably something similar to with like Limp Bizkit. People coming through and they're just like, wait, what the f? This sucks. You know what I mean? It took like one guy on the internet and then people were like, yeah, this does suck. Maybe the Szechuan sauce comes back the same way Limp Bizkit did. Or when Avengers Endgame released, you had all these people screaming and clapping in the theater every time a character did something on screen, right? That got recorded. And it looks absurd. Hindsight's 2020. Pretty gross after a while. Or you could be the Star Wars fan crying over the trailer, you know. The list goes on and on for these fan bases that don't necessarily represent everyone, but they represent the most hardcore, outspoken part of the fan base. And today, I want to talk about the most recent example of this trend of superfans ruining an experience for regular, I guess you could say regular fans or just regular moviegoers. And that, of course, is the Wicked fandom. On November 22nd of the Lord's year of 2024, the Wicked movie released, which is one of the highest grossing Broadway musicals of all time. The movie is a prequel of The Wizard of Oz, focusing on the relationship between Glinda the Good and Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, after meeting at the Shiz University. I never understood the Shiz thing.
I'm wondering if it's like a thing where it's like, oh, that's a shiz. It's like early 2000s.
Oh, probably. We should call it the Banff University. Oh man, the shiz. It focuses on themes of friendship, belonging, self-love, and equality. And some would even say queerness. It's a Broadway musical after all. Fans have been begging for a movie adaptation for years, and now the cat is out of the bag. A wave of cringe has just been unleashed upon the world. It has had a chokehold on theater kids who have stampeded the movie theaters in droves to watch it. People have been crying at the trailer. Peter Dinklage. And the tears don't stop there. They're ever flowing like the rivers of time themselves. Never ending. I'm not even joking. It's continuous. The worst part about this whole thing is that the movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
Oh, no. 2 hours 45.
Taking the piss.
And it's a part 1. And mind you, the original play, the play itself, the actual full play is a 2.5 hour long experience with a 15-minute intervention. What are we doing? Right? What the hell is this? And you know, you can just say, well, it's people want more content. Universal's trying to squeeze the tits of that cow bare, right? Beat that dead horse. A 3 hour long film for part 1 of a prequel to Wizard of Oz. How much could we really explore here, okay?
You have Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2, Dune Part 3, the HBO Dune show. I'm tired of it. Well, you know what the thing, at least with the Dune books, 50 goddamn Dune books. Right? They're big old books. So it makes sense. Wizard of Oz, some bitch clicks her heels and she wants to go to Kansas, and then the bitch is green. And all of a sudden now she's just like, but what if she was the good guy? That's some serious early 2000 shit, isn't it too? Have you guys ever thought about if the Wicked Witch of the West was actually like good? And she was gay? Wait, you're awesome. But the thing you've probably heard the most about this movie, literally nobody can stop themselves from bawling their eyes out. That is the biggest reception I've seen. No one tells me if the movie is necessarily good or bad. They just cry. That's all I ever see is the end of the movie. You get the whole fucking TikTok format where it's like, me before I see the Wicked movie. And then it's afterwards. It's as if they fucking shot their mom in IMAX. This goes especially for the film's lead actresses, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. During the press tour for the movie, people were starting to get concerned at just how often the two of them were reduced to tears. You would have thought that during the filming, someone broke into the set, beat them to near death, or clubbed baby seals every single day, did something to just traumatize these people. They look like shell-shocked veterans. My grandfather, who was a paratrooper in the Vietnam War, has less of emotional reaction to these two actresses in a Hollywood film, okay? The way she's like, Ariana's stroking that fucking pinky like something. I don't know, she's, you know what I mean?
We're very grateful to be here with this material that I love so much and with this human being that I love so much.
Why the would somebody grab your pinky and do this? What are we doing there? Is it stimming? And according to Ervo, the two of them became incredibly close during the filming of the movie and can't help themselves as they are constantly reliving and rehashing all the things that they've been through during every emotional interview.
I'm really sorry. We're really sorry.
It just happens.
It's really
It
emotional.
happens. We can't help it.
The interviewer might be like, heard you like the color red. And they're just like, yeah. And on TikTok, theater kids who highly anticipated the film have started to film themselves crying from watching the movie. It's the most cult-like thing I've ever seen. That's one thing they say about cults, is that you imitate the mood or emotions that your cult leaders are having. So since Ariana and Cynthia are crying, and there's a rumor, I'm not going to get into it, but there's a rumor. Now you have people sitting there and they've been crying. You know, people, it's as if they saw the face of God for the first time. They truly became enlightened. And it's been a whirlwind of cringe, okay?
The most like symbiotic, beautiful. I feel so grateful to have done this with her. Sorry. It's just...
What happened? I legitimately think that Cynthia had to ward off some kind of entity or something. If she wasn't there, we'd all be dead.
It's also my first time ever doing a jump.
You have been the light of the day. You are
truly-
such a gift.
You brought such light into the room. Thank you very much
We appreciate
for coming
you.
into this room
Thank
today.
you.
We needed.
Fucking creepy, man. Even as it sounds like they're like robots. And you know, it's not even just Cynthia and Ariana. I mean, you're talking about the director gets into fits of tears.
I'm not gonna cry because that's their job to cry. I'm just gonna describe the moment. So.
We can cry together if you
We
want.
It's Wicked, the Wizard of Oz prequel. I mean, what barriers are you breaking here? She's painted green and it's her first day at school. It's almost like if you sat there and you're like, Adam Sandler really had to get into his role for Billy Madison. He was the first day back and he really challenged himself. We didn't want to push him too hard. Shut up! You do the Adam Sandler thing. But then you get into the poster. This became a big thing. Was the fans of the original play, I mean, they're diehard fans. These are dedicated Wicked lifers here.
What's your favorite Wicked song?
Impossible.
Yeah. And what's your favorite Wicked song?
Loathing, for sure.
And before the movie was out, when the poster for the movie was first released, some people were critical of it for not properly mimicking the original Broadway poster. Now, you would think that's not a big deal, but my God, did it stir up some crazies, okay? Because it wasn't true to the original art of the prequel to Wizard of Oz. It wasn't true. And Elphaba was without her iconic red lipstick. Oh my God. Her eyes were fully visible. Oh! Jesus Christ! And Glinda's hand was slightly lowered. Like, do you even try? I mean, look at that. It's completely fucking different, dude. She just looks fucking upset. No red lipstick. This is bullshit. Despite this being very unimportant to the film as a whole, people felt the need to edit the new poster to more closely resemble the original. Now there's balance back in the universe. Apparently, this made its way to Cynthia, who plays Elphaba in the movie, and it deeply, deeply upsetted her to the point of making a public statement about it in her Instagram story. This is the wildest, most offensive thing I have ever seen. Equal to that awful AI of us fighting. Equal to people posting question, is your pussy green? It's like a fair question. It's like, obviously, yes, but still you just want to be like, got them Shrek lips down there. None of this is funny. None of it is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I am a real live human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer, because without words, we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is an homage, not an imitation. To edit me face and hide me eyes is to erase me. And that is just deeply hurtful. Somebody doing a Photoshop edit. That seems a bit excessive, doesn't it? My lips ain't red, they're green. I looked down the barrel of a camera. That's a hint too. The director of photography had a gun to the back of Ariana's head the entire shoot. Hit the perfect note, Ari. Also, the "is your pussy green" joke has been a meme since about 2014, originating from the old social media post where a few people had graffitied the Broadway poster. Likely Erivo was not aware that this was a dated joke. Well, dude, should have fucking done some research, man. So this is one of the biggest Broadway properties ever. Okay, sounds good. Also, our fans are a bit nutty. Me thinks me can deal with that. Also, people think that Elphaba's pussy is green. Who do you think you are? Oh yeah, no, my whole body's green, but my pussy lips are pink. Doesn't make any sense. Many believe that, beside the genitalia comment, she is greatly dramatizing what was a harmless re-edit of a poster. And I think we can all agree with that. It seems a bit odd. If anything, it seems like trying to get a little drama started before the big day. And Cynthia eventually reflected on the outburst and admitted that she probably should have just called her friends about it, rather than jump to social media to lambast it. What a queen. Nonetheless, this sparked a conspiracy that Universal is for some reason avoiding showing Cynthia's eyes now. I bet you anything fucking agents were like, you do not show her face anymore. Wait! Today's video is sponsored by Bad Dragon. Our dear friends, long-standing sponsors of the channel. Just want to give them a great big thank you for having the best unbelievable products and spicing up the bedroom. And if you've been trying to explore maybe your own relationship, you're trying to explore yourself, maybe your relationship, trying to dive deep into holes like a groundhog. Maybe head on over to Bad Dragon and figure it out. And be sure to check out all of their premium products that are quality inspected. We've been to the warehouse, we've seen how the chocolate is made, and my God, is it sweet, my friends. So head over to Bad Dragon and look at all their beautiful, fantastical designs and see if you can't get to know yourself just a little bit better. Thank you, Bad Dragon, for sponsoring the video. Which now we can finally talk about. The day is here and people are going out. And now the theater kids, much like roaming zombies in an apocalypse, are roaming the streets, flooding in the theaters, and bringing absolute chaos and mayhem to regular moviegoers. People trying to work regular jobs are now confronted with the emotional tirade that is the theater kid audience. So let's take a look at some of the cringiest theater kids who have flooded social media with their over-the-top passion for Wicked.
Come with me to see the movie Wicked!
If you're in a movie theater by yourself, you can do whatever. If this is the first screening and I'm sitting behind you and you're flailing your arms around and you're screaming and rolling around, where did theater etiquette go? Out the window, much like Elphaba, flying on her magic broom. And another big problem with theater kids is that they have an unstoppable urge to sing along with the movies in the theaters. Yeah, it's a musical. Conquering my stage fright by singing in a crowded theater. It's not a stage, it's a theater. You're in the seats. It'd be different if it's like going to karaoke. Conquering my stage fright, going to karaoke.
Hold it.
Brother, this guy stinks! Oh my God. Singing along with that would drive me up a fucking wall.
Close my eyes and leave. Sing, let's go.
You know what? At least with this one, the movie is delayed, so they're just waiting. And obviously, whenever it starts, she's probably gonna sit down. But at the same time, I didn't fucking pay to come see you sing, dude. Can I at least enjoy what we're getting ready to see together? Whenever I saw one of the Star Wars movies, the new ones, people in the theater, it's like a dark theater or whatever, and they had their lightsabers, and they were like, hey! And they'd wave their lightsabers. Does it take away from the whole experience? It doesn't. Does it distract away from the purchase that I made? It absolutely does. It drives me insane. Theater etiquette, where to go? And you know what? People who just wanted to enjoy the movie are getting fed up. They're fed up.
Hey, ladies, remember, this is not a sing-along.
And taking it upon themselves to bring their own posters to remind the audience not to sing along.
This is just a reminder that we are not singing during this film.
This is how Batman started, man. This is vigilante. This is street justice. I'm pretty sure that they've even started to put shit at the beginning of the screenings, being like, don't use your cell phones. Hey, by the way, let's not sing. Wouldn't that be great? Maybe no talking. Hey, if you're gonna do TikToks, save them for after the show. And the Wicked subreddit had a post that drew a lot of controversy and arguments about the theater etiquette and not singing in the film. PSA, Let's enjoy Wicked without turning it into a sing-along. Hey, fellow Aussians, the time has finally come. Wicked is hitting the big screen. And I, like so many of you, am beyond excited to experience this long-awaited masterpiece. It's been over 20 years in the making. Tonight, we'll finally get to see Elphaba defy gravity in all her cinematic glory. But before we rush off to the screenings, I just want to throw a friendly PSA. While sing-along screenings are a blast, they aren't currently scheduled for Wicked. So during regular showings, let's keep our vocal talents in check. I know it's tempting. I mean, who doesn't want to let loose on Popular or nail that Fury Arrow riff? But remember, there are people in the theater who've waited decades for this film and just want to experience the magic without unplanned background vocals. Compassionate is what that is. It's a respectful, passionate post about that. And I know many of the comments agreed, but there were people saying that they are definitely going to sing because of how big of fans they are. Almost immediately, people disregarded the actual thing that they were saying and the conversation they were having, and they were like, this is about me now. This is my movie. Okay, well, I hate this, like this comment here. I don't see the issue. Okay, let's go ahead and see that again. If you start a rebuttal with saying that you are ignorant to what is happening in front of you, do you not maybe see how you could be in the wrong? No way I'm staying silent during Defying Gravity. I've sung along to every musical I've seen in theaters, and I'm not gonna stop now. You are a fun person to be around. She's like, and I always go alone because my friends are jealous of my vocals. And this has become such a big problem that AMC had to officially acknowledge it. At the beginning of screenings, a 30-second spot is presented to the audience that reads, quote, at AMC theaters, silence is golden. Silence. Silence is golden. No talking, no texting, no singing, no wailing, no flirting, and absolutely no name-calling. Enjoy the magic of movies. Absolutely no name-calling. Well, yeah, what does that mean? Defying gravity. Fat Hey, they said no name calling at the beginning. Epileptic loser! Stop covering your eyes. It's strobing lights, idiot. And signs were placed around theaters warning people not to disrupt moviegoers as well. I like how, polite this is. Versus if it was my movie theater, I would go in with a fucking flashlight. I beg. You, up there, redhead! Down here, come on. All right, cops, come in. It has gotten so bad that the New York Post posted an article about how the group of theater kids ruined their experience. There must be nothing going on in New York if that's what you're talking about. My movie experience is ruined. I bet you it's another theater kid. The debate over singing along even reached the main stars of the film. And Cynthia said that if you're going to sing along the first time, it's fine. But if you see the movie again, then let the movie sing to you. Other way around, dude. If you say it for the first time, May thinks that you should just go ahead and sing it. What? How does that make sense? I sang it the first time and I just want to go experience it. Experience it and then go back and be like, I've seen this, and then you can sing. But even then, why would you encourage that? How do you not know that's not someone else's first time and that ruins it for them? And Ariana Grande said that she understands singing along can be tempting, but you should stop if someone throws popcorn or their phone at you. So if no one says anything, go ahead. But if people start physically assaulting you, it might be good to shut up. Delusional! And while many theater kids are simply happy that they get to experience their favorite story once again on the big screen, others have started to gatekeep the Wicked obsession. All these fake bitches coming in, ruining my Wicked experience. You guys weren't even here, okay? You're not a theater kid. You shouldn't be allowed to enjoy this movie. Yas. Because they're gay. And some people feel angry, claiming that they were bullied for being an obsessive theater kid and don't like seeing normies getting into it because of the movie.
There's something about watching all of the non-theater people see Wicked and obsess over Wicked as if Wicked hasn't existed for 20 years on Broadway.
The Marvel comic book nerd era, anime era, they all chuckle, they chortle. First time? And people are like, I used to get my balls squeezed and some people to kick my ass for liking Evangelion. Look at me now. The fans of the movie and the musical have been going crazy over merch for the franchise, and Target had a line of limited edition Stanley Cups. All right, we're all familiar with the Stanley Cups, the obsession with that, but once again, Target pulls out its wicked little magic and spins up 2 new colors. You know, it's that same thing where people go and they buy 3 or 4 at a time. There's also a controversy over Mattel, the toy company, accidentally not putting the correct website link on the back of their toys for Wicked. And Mattel meant to put the link wickedmovie.com, but accidentally put wicked.com, which is a hardcore porn website. That's pretty fun. That's got to be worth some shit. I want the wicked.com one, dude. Go to wicked.com. Ariana, go to wicked.com. Mattel had to apologize and is removing the toys with the URL misprint from stores and correcting it, but not before tons of people purchase them to resell as the collector's item online.
It says www.wicked.com.
And what's wicked.com?
We need to get one of those. So, you know, with all the hype going on this movie, with people crying in the theaters, the actresses becoming robots that are emotionally, that's like watching aliens try to figure out what crying means, people buying merchandise. I mean, the public discussion. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. This movie making millions and millions of dollars, breaking box office records. I figured I have to go see it for myself. I need to go see what the hell is the big hype with this movie. So I took my wife and Nick to go along to a 3 o'clock showing of the 3-hour-long Wicked movie. And I just kind of want to talk about my experience with this because let me tell you, friends, we just got back. I'm recording this video. I just need to talk. First off, get there. We were about 3 minutes late. Walk through and I immediately hit, I'm an autistic boy. Loud. Big speakers. So I was like, was that someone in the theater? Nope. It was for a trailer for a movie called The Unbreakable Boy.
Oh yeah, I also have autism.
One of the most offensively funny trailers I've ever seen in my life about just an autistic kid named Austin. I mean, it was humiliating. I was like, he's like, his brain's made of rainbows and chocolate. Every day's a fantasy. You're like, what the f are you talking about? He's just a normal kid. My God. Next up, we had the Snow White adaptation. Unbelievable. First off, looks horrible. Have we learned nothing from the live action adaptations of the Disney shit? But the thing I found most egregious was not the hi-ho remix that they kept replaying. So Snow White goes into the dwarf house, and then I was like, oh, so they got the dwarves again. This is going to be like f***ing The Hobbit. This is reminded me of the beginning of The Hobbit, right? You had the actors come in, they sing songs, all that kind of shit. They were CG dwarves. Why? Singing animals and talking shit. I totally understand making CG. Why did they make CG dwarves? Those are real. We got those. They're little guys with big problems, and I don't want to have to deal with it. That's Walt Disney's way, all right? I just thought that was crazy. And by the time the trailers got over, it was 30-minute runtime for trailers, all right? So now this 3-hour-long experience has now become a 3.5-hour-long experience.
Will you go for Glinda's perfect pink? Elphaba's emerald green.
Just wanted to put that out there. Just wanted to throw that out. And I'm not going to harp on, I'm not going to do the beat for beat of the movie. It's whatever. It's insane that this is a part 1. Once again, just because the actual theater runtime is 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 15 minutes because there's a 15-minute interlude. You got the whole package. Our theater experience was fairly lackluster. We only had a couple crying people. There was people crying. I just want to put that out there. There was people crying. There was also a guy snoring. And then during some of the songs, like the popular, there's more people humming, which I found was even worse. And it was almost like you could tell it's like, well, I'm not going to sing, but they never said anything about humming. Like Mormons breaking rules, you know what I mean? They said I can't smoke, but they said nothing about vaping. I didn't understand the hype around the Wicked thing. You start off and the movie is kind of, you're like, oh, this is kind of like a mature version of like The Wizard of Oz, which is like a very, campy fairy tale thing. Starts off, the mom's cheating, she's sucking and her baby ends up green. You're like, well, goddamn, this is pretty crazy. But then from there, it just nosedives into like the most generic Disney movie I've ever seen. And I just want to point out that it's a fine movie. If you like musicals, it'd be hard not to like this. It's the Disney method where it's like, it's scientific. They've scientifically dissected the chords needed to make something like big and operatic and fantastical. I've seen it a billion times. I was a bit confused. The most interesting subject matters of the movie being about like abuse of animals and that kind of stuff is like just completely disregarded for the standard, like, no one's gonna like me. Well, I like them, but there's no way. And then by the end, it's like, I found myself. I don't need anybody but me. I love myself. And then the bitch flies around for a while, and then it just ends. And then you're looking at yourself in the mirror afterwards, I took a wicked shit afterwards because I got flatbread pizza. Oh, wicked shit.
There you go.
Again, it's just natural. Took a wicked shit, and then I was looking in the mirror, and I just thought to myself, why did I spend 3 hours watching basically an 8-year-old's diary get made into a $400 million film? And I just want to say, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, the bitch in the wheelchair, horrible. What an awful character. That's the one time in my life I've ever felt I've had almost no sympathy for someone in a wheelchair. That's the only time where I'm like, good. Up, I know it is. Also, Ariana's boyfriend, who's like the SpongeBob dude, he keeps doing like the millennial smirk the whole movie. He's fawning over Ariana's character and stuff, but yet I think he's like sucking the wheelchair girl too. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it was the worst thing ever. It's not that. Did I cry? No. If I told myself if I was an 8-year-old girl, or maybe if I was an 8-year-old effeminate boy, maybe I would have been moved. But the two people sniffling, it was like I was at a funeral. You ever sit at a funeral and the person behind you are crying and they're doing that crying where it's like and they're like trying not to explode out all that noise, but they're just gritting their teeth and they're really going through it. It was that. And so when I stood up after the movie, I kind of glanced over. She was sitting in her chair like this. I was like, who are you reaching out for? I was like, I guess I have nothing really to say besides like, it's fine. You know? Did it need to be 3 hours long, Nick? No. You could have done a two-parter that was fucking an hour and a half each. Could you not have done that?
But then it wouldn't get people in the seats. Because nowadays it's like, why am I going to pay $15 to see a movie if it's not longer than 2 hours?
That's a good point. When you're right, you're right. Yeah, I feel like you just really have to be like a musical fan. Kind of felt like an old musical from like the 50s or something like that is what it reminded me of. Also, they kept cutting to the Asian dude that's on SNL. I think he's pretty funny, but it's like they just kept using him to be like gassing up Ariana the whole time, but they did it so excessively that at a point it was just like, what the You're telling me that a girl's green in this universe and people are scared of her, but the big fat chick and the fucking handicapped girl, no one's saying shit? Are you kidding me? If you're gonna go like the pretty and pink route, whatever, you gotta go across the board. You can't have the big fat chick dance around on her pig hooves and the fucking wheelchair girl rolling around. No one says anything. No one says a thing. Not one thing. Really? The fit girl that's green? Oh. Ooh. Another thing too is Ariana's boyfriend who plays the guy, he's a munchkin and he stands on 2 books to get taller than the guy. But even just the munchkin dude standing there is like a foot taller than Ariana. So is Ariana supposed to be a munchkin in this or no?
They're just called Munchkin Land. That's it.
So they're just they're not small. But in the regular movie, they're all tiny. Yeah, but in this movie, they're just like, no, we're not doing that. It's because all the CG animators that were supposed to make little people are on Snow White right now. And they're just like, we can do 12. How many you want? They're like, 400. Like we cannot do that. So I feel like you cannot watch Wicked and then watch Wizard of Oz because then Dorothy has just murdered 2 innocent people and then glorifying the animal abusing monster that is Oz.
Oh, here's my bet because she melted, right?
Yeah, I'm melting.
She's gonna come back up. Well, maybe she'll already be green, but I suspect she's not gonna be green.
I was telling you, it's gonna be in like Dark Knight or whatever. Dark Knight Rises, where it's like, let me die, let me be the villain. So it's like Batman sacrifices himself to be the bad guy. Yeah, Michael Caine's gonna toast the Wicked Witch of the West in like Peru or whatever. Some people just want to watch the world burn. That's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna be that. So it's like she's not really dead. Because the whole thing is, oh, you can't get wet, because that's what they're setting up to. Because they have a shot where she's like, oh, I can't get wet. But it's like, of course, I mean, she takes baths and shit, right? So they're gonna be like, I'm melting, but really, she just went in smoke and she left. I killed her, she melted. That bitch didn't melt, dude. They have some ditzy dumb white bitch clicking her heels and going back to Kansas. Also, Depression era Kansas. Dust Bowl, Kansas. Brutal. They're definitely gonna like tear up Dorothy, dude. That little motherfucker does not stand a chance, does she? They're gonna make her borderline. It's gonna be Unbreakable Girl is gonna be the sequel to Unbreakable Boy. It's gonna be about Dorothy and how they betray her in Wicked Part 2. You better watch out. So this is what I gotta say is, if you're gonna go see a movie, don't be this obnoxious fucking asshole. Just sit there and enjoy it. It's a fine time. The only reason that you're not gonna have a good time is 1, if you go in being a pouty bitch, and then 2, if you ruin other people's experience by singing and making the performance about you. Because at the end of the day, that's what all these people shouting out, reaching for attention, is that they just want the performance to be about them and how good they can sing. F off with that. Just go see a movie, sit down, shut up, and stay in your place. We appreciate you so much. And thank you guys for watching. And hey, go see Wicked. It's a hoot. See you guys.
It's not your seat.
Go away.
That's not gonna
I pay my money. I have a right to it.
Sit in your seat, correct?
Yes,
that's
my
not,
seat.
That's not your seat.
How can you tell it's not my seat?
Because your ticket has your seat number on it.
Whatever.
Let's find it.
Whatever.
This can easily
do
be
your
resolved.
own policy.
And
No,
you're
I'm gonna be
arguing.
an asshole because you're being an asshole.
I am not.
I'm a patron here.
Okay, and I'm trying to